debate on the public investments management regulations. Honorable Speaker, this House did pass the Public Finance Management Act of 2012. And in that act, there are a lot of articles discussing matters public investment. And these regulations, which we are discussing this morning, Honorable Speaker, are very important because they do provide the operational framework for implementation of the public investment initiatives. Honorable Speaker, any investment, either by a country or by an individual, is expected to generate some revenue for the country, except those ones which are of public good. Honorable Speaker, in the old days when I used to work in Treasury, we used to have what we used to call public investment programs, where the government will have technical people who will look at all aspects of investment and be able to advise the government and in a priority manner say which projects rank priority number 1, which ones rank second level, and which ones rank third level. And Honorable Speaker, over time, we seem to have lost that chance of ranking our public investments. And I see these regulations putting us back to the right track in terms of making sure that whatever we invest in as a country, Honorable Speaker, benefits Kenyans. The reason why I'm supporting this, Honorable Speaker, is because the regulations will give us now that operational framework where I expect before any public investment is moved to the future, there will be a very clear criteria in terms of how do we assess the viability of that public investment, either through a feasibility study or through what we call project appraisal, so that before we invest, Honorable Speaker, we are sure that what we are putting public money in is something which is going to be of benefit to Kenyans, and more so, majority of the Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in these regulations, I'm imagining that we'll have a chance through the regulations, Honorable Speaker, also to discuss the funding framework. Because anytime I listen to the honorable members discuss this, Honorable Speaker, you realize that as we fund these public investments, we can do this using our own resources, which are generated through taxation through taxing Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. But also some of these public investments are being funded through external sources, Honorable Speaker. And I think there should be a very clear distinction, Honorable Speaker, in terms of where we are funding our public investments through external support. Because in such a case, Honorable Speaker, it is very important that where we are doing external resources, Honorable Speaker, we must have a very clear framework in terms of discussing what is the local component. Honorable Speaker, you realize that at times when we negotiate for this funding, as Kenyans, we don't provide for that local component so that Kenyans participate in such a big project. I hear honorable members complain about the expressway. And I always ask myself, even as we develop this infrastructure, was there a local component for Kenyans? So that we would be saying, even though this was done by this country, but Kenyans also contributed to this extent. So I look forward, Honorable Speaker, through these regulations to be in a situation where then Kenyans can say, any project coming to the country in the future will be having a local component and an external component, more so where the funding is coming from outside. Honorable members, you'll be surprised that most of our public investment has also become a drain to the exchequer. Why am I saying so, honorable members? This country, if you look at the records from the central bank, we are paying so much money under the title commitment fee. Honorable members, this is money which the country has borrowed through getting to commitments in terms of loans, and we have not started using those loans, Honorable Speaker, because we borrowed before we are ready for implementation. So what is happening? Our friends, the World Bank, our friends, the IMF, end up charging this country commitment fee for not using money